You are the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar corporation. You just left another company meeting and smiled to yourself. Things have been going good. After 4 years of hard work and dedication, you finally become the second largest company in the world. You get ready for bed, and just when you're about to fall asleep, the phone rings. You get up to answer it and find a mysterious voice, and it says, "The Mittani sends his regards." Your face turns pale and your heart starts racing. You run to the other room to open your computer, but it's too late. You check your inbox and look at the screen in horror as the company you devoted your life to for the past 4 years disappears. Cash stolen, bank accounts emptied, and assets stripped. The company ceases to exist. This actually happened to the Band of Brothers Corporation in the wildest sandbox massively multiplayer online game EVE Online. But just who is the Mittani? How did he go on to create EVE Online's most nefarious spy agency? How did he become EVE Online's mega dictator, all while never logging in? This is the story of EVE Online's most notorious spy. Fresh out of law school, Alex Gianturco was looking forward to a career as a corporate lawyer. While Alex was fighting white-collar crime cases by day, he transformed into his alter ego, the Mittani, an intergalactic spy and dictator by night. EVE Online is the ultimate sandbox MMORPG, taking place in an entire universe. It has one persistent world for every single player, and player action is what drives the universe. Every material from ore to full-on battleships are all either mined or crafted by players. The whole economy is player-based, and they even hire several economists to monitor inflation and other economic metrics. This is truly the king of sandbox MMORPGs. This game attracts master manipulators and politicians alike, as players can form their own corporations and nations inside of this game. There are many things you can do, from becoming a pirate, commanding an army of players, infiltrating a corporation for months, gaining their trust before robbing all of their assets. The possibilities are endless, and all is allowed in this massive sandbox MMO. The Mittani started out his career in EVE in a corporation called the Goonswarm. Corporations are player-run guilds that compete with each other for resources, power, and territory. In the March of 2006, the Mittani decided he wanted to get involved in spying to help the Goonswarm establish its dominance in the universe. Back then, spying was frowned upon in the EVE community, so with the blessing of the Goonswarm CEO, the Mittani created a top-secret wing of the Goonswarm Corporation called the Goonswarm Intelligence Agency. One of the GIA agents, Nick Niven, infiltrated an alliance, or a group of corporations called NORAD. NORAD would transport their assets in large ships called freighters. These convoys would jump from system to system undetected and reach its destination. With intel provided by Nick Niven, the GIA could see the precise time and location that this transport convoy would fly through. While the freighter was on course to its destination, 20 Goonswarm ships log in at the exact location of the freighter and steal all of the cargo. The mission was a success. After the raid, NORAD didn't suspect Niven as the spy, and she kept on providing intel to GIA. Mission after mission, GIA successfully wiped that corporation from existence. In the war against Lotka Volterra, history was made. This is one of the times that actual crimes were committed in real life to influence the tides of a virtual war. The enemy, Lotka Volterra, hired a mercenary agent named Goonswarm to provide intel on Goonswarm. Now, the special thing about Goonswarm was that he was actually a cybersecurity professional, capable of hacking. Goonswarm opened up a backdoor into the Goonswarm website with special access to the forums. This allowed Lotka Volterra to secretly monitor the private chats of Goonswarm directors and officials. After that, Goonswarm hacked into the CEO of Goonswarm's email. Goonswarm was compromised. Or were they? The Mittani was one step ahead yet again. The Goonswarm Intelligence Agency had a spy of their own in place as a director of the company. As a result of the spy, the Mittani already knew that the Goonswarm forums and the CEO email was compromised. The GIA was then free to mislead, misdirect, and provide false intel to Lodka Valterra. Foolishly, Lodka Valterra decided to scam Kugutsumin and not pay him for his work. This was a big mistake. Filled with rage, Kugutsumin turned sides and approached the Mittani. The GIA just acquired a powerful ally. In order to prove his loyalty to the Mittani, Kugutsumin used his hacking skills to infiltrate the forums of a mega alliance called the Band of Brothers. Poking around the private information, the T20 scandal was exposed. It turned out that within the Band of Brothers, an actual CCP developer was secretly playing and spawning in illegal items for himself and his buddies. This was huge and would be too long to explain in this video. If you want me to make a video on the T20 scandal, please like this video and subscribe, because it is the only feedback I have about whether or not you enjoy this content. Back to the Mittani. In a separate part of the universe, a GIA agent named Tamir Lenk was running a recruitment scam. Since scamming is allowed in EVE Online, he would approach players and offer them admission into his corporation. He would charge them some money and offer to transfer the players' assets for them into the corporation's headquarters. After receiving the assets, they would run off with the money and steal the players' assets. One of Tamir's prey was a simple asteroid miner named Harkani. Tamir was going to keep Harkani around for a week and then boot him out of the corporation. Right before kicking Harkani out of his corporation, Harkani reveals that he knew that he was being scammed the whole time, but that he really enjoyed being a part of the corporation. He also revealed that Harkani was just his alt account and that he was a disgruntled Band of Brothers director. This news makes its way up to the chain of command and eventually reaches the Mittani. The Mittani comes up with the ultimate plan that would completely decimate the entire Band of Brothers. Harkani had director level access to the top level corporation that held the whole Band of Brothers alliance together. With coordination, the Mittani and Goonswarm siphon all of BOB's assets, and using Harkani's account, disbands the whole Band of Brothers. He immediately created a new corporation with the same name that prevented BOB members from regrouping and reestablishing the alliance. Since there is only one persistent universe in EVE Online, players from around the world all coexist. This includes the Russians. The Mittani made it clear that Goonswarm was to remain neutral to the Russians. This policy stemmed from a shocking experience with the Russians. Titans are extremely powerful warships, and back in the day were pretty much unkillable. The only way to destroy a Titan was to have the pilot log out of their account in the middle of a battle. During one war, in alliance with the Russians, Goonswarm faced an unkillable Titan. The Mittani's Russian ally said, "Mittani, we need to kill the Titan." The Mittani replied that he didn't know how to kill the Titan. The Russian inquired, "Can you find me where he lives?" Confused, the Mittani said that the Russian already knew which system the Titan pilot came from. The Russian interjected, "No, where does he live? You find me his address, and I will send my boys to cut the power to his house." Knowing how EVE Online attracts many politicians, diplomats, and powerful people in real life, the Mittani vowed to never piss off the Russians. CO2 was an extremely large rival alliance to Goonswarm, which was now rebranded as Imperium. By this time, the Mittani became the CEO of the whole alliance and had some serious power. However, the Mittani always made sure to be smart in managing Imperium. CO2, however, was not so smart. If organizations don't distribute power and implement safeguards, one person may have too much leverage over the organization. This was the case with an EVE player known as the Judge. He was the person responsible for running CO2's massive space stations. These space cities were where members of CO2 stored all of their assets and resources. The Mittani understood the amount of leverage that the Judge held against CO2. Meeting in Iceland, the Mittani convinced the Judge to switch sides in person. In EVE Online, what you do offline can have massive impacts on events inside the game. Using this point of leverage, the Mittani now had access to all of CO2's main cities and assets inside of them. Using the space station heist as a diversion, the judge emptied all of CO2's ISK, the in-game currency, into his own account. Once again, the Mittani successfully decimated a massive alliance. When converted to real US dollars, the ISK that they stole from CO2 was equivalent to 13,000 US dollars. And with that, the Mittani sends his regards. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is probably the only time I can say this, but according to YouTube statistics, 0% of you are subscribed. So if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please like and subscribe. It's the only way I know to keep on making these videos. Thanks for watching.